Craftsman lawn tractor billows massive amounts of white smoke and shuts off after running for less than 10 minutes. Also, the battery fails to rechatge.
Hello, and thank you for choosing JustAnswer. I'll be helping you today and am committed to providing clear and concise answers to your question. White smoke is either oil or water in the fuel. Since it's air-cooled, it's usually water. Any oil making its way into the breather or air cleaner.
Doubt any water or oil is in breather or air cleaner. There appears to be a hole on the bottom of the muffler.
That usually doesn't create white smoke, but if there's a hole it should certainly be replaced. Part number is XXXXX. Here's a link for purchasing. 137,352 muffler. Do you have a voltmeter to troubleshoot the charging system?
No voltmeter, just a continuity tester. Can I use something else? What would cause the battery from charging?
The most common things are either a battery with cells going bad, a bad stator under the flywheel, a bad rectifier/regulator, or a short to ground draining the battery. Since you have an AC lighting circuit on there, are the headlights working properly? Do you see them go from dimmer to brighter as the engine goes from idle to full throttle? That will tell us if the stator is putting out AC.
Starter is new and headlights work as they should.
If the headlights are working, then we know the stator is putting out AC, but not exactly how much. It's also good to know you have a new starter as well, so we can rule that out. With a voltmeter, I would recommend checking DC voltage at the battery with the engine not running, then compare it with DC voltage with the engine running at full throttle. You should jump up to about 13.5 volts if the charging system is working. Any chance of borrowing one for testing? At this point we can assume the stator is putting out AC to the lights, but the other wire coming off connects to a diode under the shrink wrap to convert the AC to DC for charging the battery. It would be good to know if the diode is working. Without a voltmeter, I would check the ground cables for good contact to ground at the frame, with no corrosion, and check the wire running from the stator through the diode all the way to the battery. If these are good, then we've narrowed it down to a weak battery or a bad diode.
The battery should be good, and I have used another as well. I just borrowed a multimeter analog tester and will try it in the morning. All the connections have been checked and have been previously cleaned. White smoke starts after 10 minutes of use and tractor box installs shortly thereafter. If the tractor was a car, I would think a piston rod was blown or the engine seized. Voltmeter shows good battery charge. Battery reads good on voltmeter. Let's put the battery on the back burner for now. As regards XXXXXXXXX engine, as I said, after about 10 minutes the engine throws out white smoke and sputters and stalls. There is no water or oil in the gas or gas line, and the gas filter has been changed. The oil dipstick reads full and the oil is clean, and there is no oil on the air filter.
The oil isn't even slightly overfilled? These engines are pretty sensitive to overfilling. I also neglected to ask whether you are running on level ground. They are also pretty sensitive to slopes. If this isn't the case, from your description, the areas to check would be the breather valve to see if it's not properly sealing, the fuel pump to see if you are getting oil pumped up through the pulse line, or a blown head gasket. On the 31P777, the blown head gasket is the most common. I haven't heard back, so was just checking in to see how the project was going. Please let me know how I can better assist.
I've sent 2 additional messages. Forget about the battery. The engine is smoking and stalling after 10 minutes. Gas has no water and filter is new. Air filter is clean and has no oil on it. The oil is clean and fresh and at proper level.
Did you see my reply to that over an hour ago? Here it is again. The oil isn't even slightly overfilled? These engines are pretty sensitive to overfilling. I also neglected to ask whether you are running on level ground. They are also pretty sensitive to slopes. If this isn't the case, from your description, the areas to check would be the breather valve to see if it's not properly sealing, the fuel pump to see if you are getting oil pumped up through the pulse line, or a blown head gasket. On the 31P777, the blown head gasket is the most common. Let me know, please. I certainly want to get to the root cause of the problems you are seeing.
Level ground and not overfilled. Where do I find the breather valve and or the fuel pump? I believe it could very well be a blown head gasket.
The head gasket is the most likely on this particualr engine family. If yours is equipped with one, not all are, some are just gravity feed instead, the fuel pump is located on the side of the engine. It's a circular piece of black plastic with 3 lines connected to it. The fuel line from the tank will lead directly to it if it's there. The other 2 lines lead to the carburetor to supply fuel, and to a fitting on the block to get a pulse from the engine to operate the pump diaphragm. The breather is there on all engines, and the easiest way to find it is to follow the hose coming of the air cleaner box. It will lead to the breather on top of the engine. However, the shroud must be removed to access it. If it would be helpful, I can post a link to the repair manual for you.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.